Nawala ako. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're gonna talk about technology, education, and scholarship. Merong nangyayari sa Pilipinas about collaboration of different organizations. And I think this would be a good topic. And we do have a special guest. And to everyone who's watching, welcome to our show, Mga Pita. By the way, this is brought to you by Tamano Oil and Guana Pro C. Boost your immune system. Now, yesterday I had some friends and we were talking about blockchain technology, but how this would affect the Philippines, especially how it would address the economy. One thing also is about education. Paano ba to? Paano makakatulong ang blockchain sa education? Not just blockchain, but IT itself. Now, there is a MOA and collaboration between two big organizations, one coming from the United States and the other is a big organization as well sa Pilipinas. And these two will make waves kasi maraming matutulungan kasi hindi lang education but more of providing scholarships and affordable nako, nawawala tuloy ako. Nonetheless, I'll call my guest and then they will introduce themselves and we will talk about the topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, help me welcome our two special guests for tonight, Mr. Laurence Iliicito and Mr. Bernie Reyes. Magandang gabi, mga kaibigan.
Good good evening
Good
here in the
evening,
Philippines and
Doc
good morning
Vince.
there. Good morning there in Chicago.
Good morning nga pala dyan sa sa Chicago.
Oo, nasa kwan ako ngayon, nasa Texas. And
Ah,
sino to? It was Ed ang nasa Chicago. But
nasa
Chicago.
Chicago.
ang Quadchain Solutions is based in Chicago. Now, let me do this first. I'll ask Lawrence first and then after that Bernie. Lawrence, maybe you could introduce yourself and talk more about what you're doing as a background para sa ating mga viewers.
All right. Thank you very much, Vince. No? My name is Laurence. No? I'm the president and CEO of G1Tech Philippines, and my past career is mostly in sales in the IT industry. Actually, this is the second time that we're joining the podcast of Vince. I think the last time we were here was I still remember that was Labor Day, May 1st, 2021 last year.
Last
And
year,
we're
yeah.
only talking about our online courses
Uh-huh.
from Skillsoft USA, that we discussed during that time. But after that, I think about 6 months later, that day in May 1st, we signed up with this company called EduClass in Singapore. Okay, this is basically a bachelor's degree course and a master's degree course, applied learning. They called it International Applied Bachelor's Degree in Software Engineering, and the other one is Digital Business. What's good with this is that they offer uh, apprenticeship program for our students. No, basically
Mm.
they will have 3 year apprenticeship from their second to fourth year. Okay. But of course,
Yeah.
just a bit of my background. I've worked in the IT industry for the past 30 years, and even with some multinational companies such as IBM, Oracle, Unisys, and some regional partners of AWS. Okay. And right now, we started this business actually 2 years back during pandemic. And the good thing is that there's a lot of interest right now in terms of online courses, no?
Right, right, right.
And hindi nahuhuli yung Pilipinas, no?
Oo,
Actually,
oo.
we're glad that we're into this business, giving back actually, and of course we'll talk about the partnership between G1 Tech and Quadchain Solutions later on, no? And
Yes.
Foundation.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Thank
Maraming
you.
salamat, Lawrence. It's like I use a first name basis. Parang kwan, sorry
No problem, of course.
Mr. Iliicito. So, but if
You
it's
can call
okay
me
with you,
Lawrence
at least
or Law.
first name dito sa ating online
No problem. You
discussion.
can call me Lau, Lawrence, or whatever. No problem.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Lawrence. Now, nasa likod natin, ipapasok ko na the
President.
president of Quadchain Solutions Foundation. But before I'll call him, Bernie, go ahead. Kindly introduce yourself, your background, and what you have been doing lately.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Quadchain for having us here in this particular session to share what we're doing sa Edu class. So, actually, my name is Baltasar. My nickname is Bernie, Bernie Reyes. No, and I've been in the industry for more than 30 years now. Actually, semi-retired na sana. I'm already 61. Working with mostly multinational companies.
Mm,
Multinational company Tata previously, and what we're doing right now is we're trying to give back to the Filipino community by working closely with Edu class. No, this is and as what Lawrence has mentioned, this is applied learning, where in the first year you have 12 months boot camps, modular ang
mm-hmm,
sessions, and then uh, 3 years na these are applied learning na. So yung natutunan mo doon sa 12 months will now be used on the next second, third, and fourth year of your schooling. Now,
oh,
the
nice.
good thing about this is it has a guaranteed paid apprenticeship program. Sino naman yung mag-provide work? These are companies coming from the Fortune 1000 companies who are
Mm,
right now in Singapore. So there's a lot of opportunities, no? Because Singapore cannot provide so much, so they have gone to us. So now we're working. We started only this program late first quarter of this year because I was in Canada when in the first quarter. Arrived this towards the middle of March, and then we started working on this. But when I was in Canada, I was already started talking to
mm,
schools and students on how we will be able to uh, evangelize. I think that's the right word.
mm-hmm,
Evangelize this particular uh, program. A lot of I firmly believe it would change a lot of the lives of Filipino students. Because imagine if you are able to work here, if you're able to complete the first 12 months, you are already guaranteed an apprenticeship na 3 years.
mm-hmm,
Na again, compared to the traditional, pagka-graduate mo, that's the only time that you will have an experience. Ito, katulad ng sa Asian Institute of Management, merong
right.
capstone project na on the second year, you are already working, no? And with a multinational company, you know. And I think that's the best way, having an exposure and then
Mm-hmm,
using whatever you learn, the education, and then being mentored and coached by people also in the industry. So it creates a program that would really help the person learn. Sabi nga nila, you catch it when you're doing it.
yeah,
Di ba? So
correct.
really preparing the students. Now, the other area that I'd like to share here also is a lot of not only in the Philippines, I think it's globally, wherein the universities and the educational institutions needs to catch up on the skill sets because of the evolving technologies. Like for example, I don't think a lot of companies or educational institution already teaching uh, blockchain, right?
Right.
But actually, it's already all over the world. Or Just imagine artificial intelligence or machine learning, which is already part of our lives nowadays. And yet people doesn't know that it's artificial intelligence or machine learning. With so much data, as sabi nga nila, data is the new oil, right?
It's
But
the new
people
gold.
try to be data driven, di ba? Pero you can only be data driven if you understand that, oh, I am already in the data. Actually, nakalubog na tayo sa data. We're swimming in the data. And yet people doesn't know that.
Mhm, mhm.
So, so that's what we're trying to do right now. Work with companies like you in the US that can help the Filipinos here to support that particular program. Later on, I think Lawrence will share more about the details of the program in terms of the scholarship and how we'll be able to help uh, every Filipinos and their aspirations, including the families. Because the good news about this is, aside from being exposed to this, you get a diploma from from University of Roehampton, which is from United Kingdom, which means
Mhm.
it's exposed you globally to a lot of opportunities. You know.
Bernie, there's a lot of great talking points that we could discuss later, and I'm very interested, especially it's not the traditional kind of education like most universities are doing, the 4-year course, and then after that you go for internship, you look for a job. It's this one is way different. But before going to that, may I call on the president of Quadchain Solutions Foundation, Mr. Bimbo Heraldo? Maybe introduce yourself, give a short background para sa ating mga viewers. And we have several viewers right now. Shout out sa inyo. So, Sir Bimbo, Sir Bimbo, I'll give the floor to you. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening, good morning there. I earlier you did mention that you Torrent bear name. I was going to say sana na as long as you don't call him illicit, Mr. Illicit.
Okay.
Now I've known Lawrence for many years. No, I've been a good friend of Lawrence for many years, and Bernie also. I met siguro almost a decade na ba, Bernie? Meron ba a decade from
Yep.
the
Yep.
last time
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
we saw each other?
Yeah.
Meron na.
We met at the Enterprise
Anyway,
Center.
yeah, right. Yeah, you still remember, no? Yeah. Well, anyway, we've been uh, this cooperation has been in the works for siguro more than a year. More than a year. No, initially we have these discussions, but we had this. We're trying to figure out, how to jive our own initiatives. And when I heard Lawrence and Bernie talking about this thing, it immediately lighted a bulb. It's a light bulb moment. So I kind of called on Quadchain, set up a meeting, and then told them that this may be the start of the first or the first few steps that we need to jumpstart our advocacy, because Vin, we've been talking for like 2 or 3 years ago of how do we help the Filipinos, the OFW market through technology.
Mhm.
Remember about 2 or 3 years ago, we've been constantly brainstorming on that, and because one of our advocacies was to help the Filipino OFWs and the recipients.
Right.
And hearing what Bernie and Lawrence has about this program, I realized that this could be it. So we started with the signing, and further on there will be a series of meetings, the small projects to come up with the pitch deck, and then eventually we move on to the financing.
Mhm.
Earlier, you asked me my background. No, I'm not from the not for profit sector. Uh, I graduated computer engineering in the early 90s, and I did some technical work back then. Did some consulting in multinational projects. I mean, projects financed by different institutions. Did consulting, and recently I'm still engaged in a defense company back in the UK as a consultant. But again, I would like to tell you guys that the one we're doing right now, OneTech, is a conversation piece in the future. When we are in our 70s or 80s, what have we done to the Filipino people? So ito yon. This is it. This is a way for us to realize our dream of being a social entrepreneur. So yun, I think I took up a lot of time. Anyway, I'm going
No,
to
no, no,
bring
no.
back
You're
the
good.
floor
You're
to
good. You're
Vince.
good. Yeah, social entrepreneurship and leaving a legacy. That's most of the time I hear that from you, Bimbo. Yung when you say, at the end of the day, at the end of our lives, when we sit on a chair, we sit down and think about
Mhm,
what we have done, uh, leaving a
mhm,
legacy to our fellow Filipinos, to our children. And one of the things that is very important is education and scholarship. And pasok na pasok dito. Now, I'm gonna go
mhm.
to Lawrence. I'm gonna show the screen, and maybe you could talk more about your company and yung sinabi ni Bernie in the details on scholarships and what is it all about? What is G1 Tech? Naka-mute ka, Lawrence. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Uh, would you like me to share the screen right now? To
Sure,
present
sure. If you
what we have. Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mhm. I'm not familiar with this. Share and
Okay.
then your computer. Okay.
Yeah.
Can this be shown directly to the screen? Whatever.
Yep. Oh, I have to approve it. So all you have to do is click the share button, share
Then
icon down there, and then I'll
yeah,
approve and it could be shared.
share screen.
It will come
Yes,
out.
sir. I'll Hindi pa lumalabas. Did you share screen?
Yeah, here
Di pa
share.
lumalabas, Lawrence. Wala
Yeah.
pa.
Ayun. Nakita ko na. There you
There
go.
you go. Kita ko na. Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the program. We have an international degree program with apprenticeship. Okay. Let me show you. Let me just skip the some areas. Well, actually, the this program aims to address the current problems in terms of job landscape. According to World Economic Forum, this was released in October 2020. Kakastart pa lang ng pandemic, just about 6 months in pandemic. But the World Economic Forum is mentioning already that there's about 85 million jobs that will be lost and about 97 growing job demand uh, will emerge by 2025. And what are they? These are top 10 growing job demand. No? Data analyst, AI and machine learning specialists, big data specialists, digital marketing and strategy specialists, process automation specialists, and then we have business dev professionals, digital transformation specialists, information security analysts, as well as software and applications developers and IoT specialists. Now this a big chunk of demand, 97 million. But the challenge is we don't have enough skills to cater these growing job demands. Okay, why? Because this, in terms of the graduates, in terms of the what's being taught in the education sector, does not really address these growing job demands. Or basically, pagka-graduate mo, you still have to study this kind of jobs or this kind of skills, right? But currently, right now, it's just 3 years down the road. In fact, nag-accelerate pa yan. The demand for these jobs was accelerated by COVID-19, no? Kasi nga malaki ngayon yung requirement in terms of e-commerce. Okay? As I mentioned, the future of work was affected by COVID-19, no? Sabi ni McKinsey, it was accelerated by 7 years. Supposed to be, we still have a leeway of 7 years before we move into digital transformation. Right now, because of COVID-19, that leeway is gone anymore. We have to do it right now. And that's a big challenge, no? And even according to Amazon, there's a 5 times increase in terms of digital skills needs. Even sila nahihirapan ano, to get the talents available. Then you have to work remotely. Ngayon, hybrid na, no? And, and because of that, you have to also reskill and upskill your workforce, no?
Right.
Meaning, di ba, yan ngayon yung nangyayari, no? One out of two employees in the workforce right now has to upskill, okay? Yeah, and again, 85 million global talent shortage according to Corn Ferry. But that translates to $85 trillion opportunity cost actually. Okay. Now, we mentioned kanina 97 billion worldwide. What about in Singapore? In Singapore right now, they need 1.2 million workers to be trained in digital skills by 2025. Okay, why is that so? 1.2 million because top global companies from China and in the US are now in Singapore, no, where they set up their headquarters for Asia Pacific, no, the likes of Tencent, ByteDance, and Alibaba of China, as well as Google, Facebook, Amazon, Salesforce are now in Singapore. But ang problema ng Singapore, they only have around less than 2,800 graduates per year. So imagine that, no? 1.2 million yung kailangan nila, workers needed, but they only have 2,800 graduates per year. So, okay.
Ang laki
Actually,
ng
this,
demand. Ang
yeah,
laki ng
yeah, laki
demand.
ng demand. No?
Yeah.
This is just one country. Of course, in the Philippines, masasabi mo rin there's a lot of demand. Ang problema nga, we don't have that digital skills needed, no? Those talents. Okay. Well, again, according to ADB naman, Asian Development Bank, what's the unemployment rate back in 2019 and 2020? Okay. Yung kulay blue, yan yung 2019. And because of COVID-19, this went up twice or thrice, no? Within the Southeast Asian countries, no? Sa Philippines nga, triple yan eh, no? 2019, ito yung range niya. About, it went up to 26, 27%. Okay? Less than 60. So, di lalo na by 2021, no? Tumaas pa lalo, no? Okay? Now, it will affect again because of the growing job demand in terms of digital skills kasi wala tayong ganong talents enough, no? So what are the challenges faced by graduates in seeking job, no? Number one, no experience. So most companies prefer candidates with previous experience, di ba? And then because your expectation then from the graduates, no, because of lack of experience, industry knowledge and connections, no, kailangan din yun, no. No interview skills, no. College, university does not prepare you for interviews, and of course relocation. Majority of new graduates right now refuse to take jobs elsewhere because okay,
So the beauty of this particular program right now is you if you see number four relocation because this is online. They are in the Philippines. They are not going to Singapore.
some other
Now,
countries.
hav- having said that, no, once they get their allowance from the second year to the fourth year, they spend it to the Philippines.
In the
so
Philippines.
so it's really helping our country, no, and uh the as if you are aware right now or uh Singapore is actually number one all over the world, no, in terms of digital skills, and we are adapting that kind
Opportunity.
of program uh, for this particular. I'm talking about those in. I'm not talking about the enterprise. I'm talking about those in the SMBs and uh, small medium companies. You know, where there is a lot of talents that are required. Of course, in the enterprise, you have all the best companies in the US and in Europe that are already there. No, but they themselves they are also looking for talents, including the likes of Microsoft and Google. You know.
Yep.
So next slide, Lawrence.
So the edu classes have been around, but they already have about 50,000 learners, and actually they have partnered with several institutions around the world. About 100 of them. 20 of those are in the Philippines. No, so actually some of the universities in the Philippines has adopted the program to be included in their curriculum. Okay, they offering the same program as well. The difference is that with G1Tech, we're offering an international pathway, while those being offered in the universities are, we call it a local pathway. Okay,
The difference there is with the international pathway, walang minor subjects. Walang mga PE, walang music, walang ROTC. No? These are
Walang
all
elective.
major subjects. No? Immediately, you are
Ah,
immersed dun sa real world that you want to uh, look into your future. No?
career. Okay. So these are some accreditation of EduClass, especially in Singapore. Ito yung key dyan, yung Skills Future Singapore, no? So this is based on skills framework nga na standard, no? Being used right now, even in other countries, no? Okay. So normally what they call it 70-20-10, ano? Why meaning 70% on the job experience. Kasi from second year mo to fourth year, you'll be full time working with a multinational company. Okay? That's why
Online.
20% online yun, no? Then that's why 20% na lang yung mentoring coaching. Why? Because of first year mo, you'll be on a boot camp, online boot camp, of which you have to study 12 modules at least for 12 months straight. And these are modules that were chosen by the industry experts, of which na ito yung kailangan niyang matutunan para siya makapagtrabaho in a digital world. Okay? For the student to work in starting his second year, no? So that's why ganun siya talagang that's why they called it applied learning. Whatever you learn in the first year, you already apply it on your second year in college, no? During our time, I think Vince Bimbo, our major subjects are being taught in third year, right?
Yes, most of in traditional third year, fourth year
traditional
major,
third year,
and
and then you
then
have
first year, second year, English, Filipino.
yes,
eh,
which were taught during high school,
Oo, doble-doble na.
and
Yung
then
major mo,
we
it
have
comes out later on.
a practicum for 6 months,
Mhm.
right?
Right, right, right,
In
right,
some
right.
cases wala pa nga, no? So that's why dito talaga very ano talaga siya, advantageous. Now since that from second to fourth year mo, nag-apprentice ka na, pag graduate mo, what? You already have a 3 year experience. You're ahead of others na graduate traditionally for 4 years kasi wala naman silang work experience in their resume,
And
right?
I think napag-usapan din natin yan kahapon eh. This is na most of yung traditional colleges, when you graduate, you have to look for an internship. Hanap ka
As
muna
well,
ng internship, and internship usually you're not being paid, and then after that, hanapan ka man ng experience
I think,
before you can really get a job, paid job.
yeah,
But it takes
yeah,
time. But this one is way, way different because the way I understood it, while you're studying, you are already paid, and then by the
yeah,
time you graduate, you already have your credentials and experience. But before going to that, I would like to say hi to those who are watching right now, who are viewing. If you do have any questions and inquiries, just write it down on the comment section so that we would be able to answer or address it. By the way, don't forget to like, share it, and subscribe on our channel if this topic really interests you. I have to go to before Bernie, I have to go to Bimbo because the question would be um, regarding Quadchain solutions. Uh, can you talk more about uh, the nitty gritty on the engagement of Quadchain solutions here sa G1 Tech?
All right. Quad chain would be more on financing. That's one. Funding the project, if I can call it a project. We I would also like to, have some quad chain would like to have some validation in terms of students enrolled into the program. So we'd like to look at that and from our end be able to assess from our end if this person is going to make it until the second, at least on the second, because we know that after the second, the third and the fourth would be a lot easier. Mm. So basically, yes, our engagement would be more on financing the project or the program.
So I guess that's where
On to you.
scholarship comes in. It would be
yeah,
Quad Chain Solutions Foundation Incorporated who will be the ones who talk about giving helping the scholars. And also I think ang ginagawa rin ng Quad Chain Solutions is also to add um, blockchain studies. uh, we could also offer that since we have a collaboration with Altax University, pwedeng i-tie up with the G1 project.
right.
Bernie, you
Mm.
want to say something? You want to add more?
Yeah, yeah. So, aligned to what Bimbo has mentioned, uh, the program itself actually, the student has to pay the first year only.
Yeah, let me
So,
show you.
so that is what Bimbo is referring to in terms of financing the first year. And how much
Mhm.
is that? It's $100 per month, which is payable in 3 months every quarter. So that's $300. So a total of $1,200 only. And then once they have completed this, the student now will have will be able to pay his own tuition fee, plus there will be an add-on allowance that is uh, trajectory going up, no, from the second year to the until the person or the student graduates. So in other words, it's a very enticing program for even those who can afford, because
Mhm.
uh, it's totally different from the traditional ones that you have to pay from the first year to the fourth year. This one
Right.
first year, di ba? So, but going back to what Bimbo has mentioned also in terms of validating, is we want to provide this to the less fortunate, to the OFWs, to those that that can change and reboot their lives. Because the moment one student graduates, I can definitely tell you that it would change the situation of the family.
Yeah.
Why?
Ah,
Because the
mhm.
exposure is international,
Parang kwan to
and not
Bernie.
only that, the students are yung mga classmates niya, mga international din eh.
Mm.
No?
Mm,
Meron nilang puro Pilipino yung kausap niya eh. No? Pati yung culture, the person would change eh.
right. Right.
Makaka-adapt na siya ngayon internationally. So, it's not just technology, but it is also growing as a person. Ganito pala nangyayari ngayon sa mundo. So, lumilit na talaga yung mundo natin, no? In terms of uh, being able to collaborate, being able to learn, and contribute to society.
Ang
You were
kagandahan
saying
nun,
something, Doc. Yeah.
Bernie, I think ang kagandahan nito is we will be bringing the OFWs back to the
Back
Philippines,
to things.
but they are more of a digital OFW na ngayon because they will be prepared for the global
Yes.
market while they are working at home. Now, the other thing that I got from you is before Lawrence would share the slide is yung first they would pay for only for the first year, and it's very
Yeah.
affordable, $100, no, and then
So
after
about
first year,
1,200 1 year.
$100 a month, and that would be a total of 1,200 annual. But after that, unlike the traditional schools, that second, third year, fourth year, they will pay for their own tuition. Kung hindi sila, their parents. But this one, it is they are already paid, self-paying na yung second year, third year, fourth year. And the other thing that I get is, I think number three, yung once they graduate, their certification is internationally or globally accredited.
Correct.
Yeah.
Am I correct on that? So that when they apply for work in other countries, mas madali silang matanggap. Unlike, if we graduate in the Philippines or traditional universities, we have to get or to take exams.
Yeah, it's not putting down our country, no?
Oo.
Siyempre, iba pa rin yung pag gumraduate ka, kahit gumraduate ka ng, let's say, University of the Philippines or, let's say, Lazaro Ateneo,
Oo.
still, it's different when you graduate from University of,
Right, right. Yeah.
a university in UK, di
Mhm,
ba? Or
mhm, mhm.
in Italy. Because we are getting the diploma not only from University of Roehampton in UK, but also in Marconi University in Italy, no?
Mm, mm, mm.
For the
For
masters,
the masters, no?
first
Yeah.
degree in
Kasi we
engineering.
also offer masters, no? No. So really this is something new that would change the lives even of those young professionals that are there na teka, nagkamali yata ako ng course ha. Actually, hindi ka nagkamali ng course. Ang totoo lang, nagbabago na talaga ang mundo. Kasi medyo mapa-music ka, mapa-health ka, no? Papunta ka sa construction, lahat meron ng technology ngayon eh. Lahat
Yeah.
meron ng computerization. Pati pag-opera, di ba?
Mhm, mhm. And we're going to the fourth industrial revolution, wherein you
Right.
have the IoT, AI,
Correct.
Web3. Before going to Lawrence, Bimbo, you're about to say something?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good thing napansin mo. I don't know if it was highlighted during the initial discussion when I was not around. During the presentation, I saw that there was also a component where students are trained on emotional intelligence. Is that it? Emotional intelligence or emotional relationship, something like that. Bernie
Uh,
or Lawrence can answer that.
well, actually, I think you may have missed something there. Remember, we are also a partner of Skillsoft, and
Yes, yes.
I think I was discussing there. God were the days that if you have a professional skill, okay ka na, di ba? Ngayon hindi. If you have a professional skills, kailangan mo ng digital skills. Kailangan mo rin ng
Mm-mm,
uh, emotional intelligence. Kailangan mo rin ng
mm-mm,
leadership. Kailangan mo rin ng business
mm-mm,
acumen.
This
And
acumen.
then, of course,
mm-mm,
the ethics.
mm-mm,
So, yun yung sinasabi mong
mm-mm,
emotional intelligence. This is what we're trying to say that because nowadays, even if you're a leader, but you don't understand
mm-mm.
the evolving technologies, may iwan ka eh. Mawawalan ka ng trabaho.
Right.
Or kung di ka man mawalan ng trabaho, suddenly, makikita mo, your value is becoming less. No? Primarily because
Mm-mm,
it has to align to the evolving technologies. And I'm not talking about 5 years. I'm talking of 2 to 3 years from now. Because everything has been changing. So if you don't upskill yourself, then you may just find yourself to be uh, suddenly baka obsolete na.
Oh,
Diba?
it's like the story of Nokia, the CEO of Nokia. He's done everything right, but the thing is, the world is progressing. The world changes. Naiwan ng Nokia, and then what happened? He, and that's how we should approach it. Is to upskill ourselves. I'm gonna share the Lawrence. I'm gonna share your slide, and you could talk more about this.
Yeah. Basically, this is the course. We're offering two courses, major in software engineering and digital business. No. The thing is, if you look at this area in first year, of which yung mga student natin will go into a boot camp for 12 months. This time, it's self-funded yung kanilang tuition. But they only pay about $100 per month. If you look at it, it's around 15,000 perhaps at 55 exchange rate, some 1,200 US, no? You just multiply it, the exchange rate right now, it's about 55, no? Yan po lang yung babayaran nila, no? It's about less than 70,000 for 1 year. But in second year, since na they'll be on apprenticeship program na, they will already receive a monthly allowance subsidy of $300 per month, enough to pay their second year tuition fee of $300 per month also. So wala na siyang ilalabas on the second
Second
year.
year
Now, in his third year, he will now be paid $450 per month,
per
and
month.
the tuition fee still remains at 300. So, may take home na siya na $150 a month. So, for the next 12 months, no? In third year. And then in fourth year, ang allowance niya is will now be 600 US dollars per month. But the monthly tuition fee still remains at $300. So, $300 na yung take home niya by his fourth year. So all in all, actually, ang na-receive niya is $16,200 na allowance, but the total tuition fee is only $12,000 for 4 years.
Ang maganda rito, Doc Vince, is yung bata or the student on his last year is now receiving $600 per month. In other words, multiply that by 12 months. That is now his minimum when he goes to uh, the real world of really working. Yun na yung minimum niya na kanyang salary. Which, if let's say we're talking here in the Philippines, that would be at the high side already. Now, how much more if there would be opportunities outside the Philippines, di
Mm-mm.
ba?
Wait. When you say $600,
Per
yan na
month.
yung sa kanya na yun. It would be his
Sa
money.
kanya na yan. Yeah, his money.
Hindi nakasali yung tuition fee because tuition fee is already paid. Am I correct?
No, no.
No,
He
no,
received
no.
600. Wait, I'll go back.
Yeah.
Okay. Kasi ang mangyayari, Doc, he will receive money from the company, right? The corporate that na kung saan siya mag-apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Yung nakuha niyang pera, ibabayad niya yon sa EduClass online.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, sa second year niya kasi tatanggap siya ng 300 but ibabayad niya tuition fee so offset lang, right?
Yes.
Now on his second year, meron siyang $450 na ma-receive from the company and then bayad siya tuition fee na $300. So kanya na yung 150 na sobra. Okay? Pero bayad na yung tuition fee niya. So on his fourth year, 600 na yung matatanggap niya pero 300 pa rin yung tuition. So
Mm-hmm.
$300 na yung sobra niya for in his allowance. So
Correct.
nababayaran niya yung tuition fee niya. May sobra siya on the third and fourth year.
Ito yung
It's
magandang
good.
definition ng working student, no?
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Rather than yung working student natin noon is eskwela, and then
Part-time
after
tayo
that
eh.
part-time hanap ng trabaho, and that's what my kids are
Yes.
doing.
Yes. Yes.
But this one, while you're studying, you're being paid for it, and then you get extra money, take home
Correct.
pangkape,
Yeah.
pang
Yeah,
Starbucks.
for your internet or even laptop
Yeah,
na pambayad, no?
yeah,
Actually.
and this goes a long, long way. Tsaka it would really revolutionize education. Um, we barely have a few minutes to go. Iikot na lang ako. Final thoughts, final message sa ating mga viewers. And then later on, maybe we could have another episode. Yung progress sa mga projects. So first, I'll call on Bimbo and then Lawrence and then Bernie to close it up. So Bimbo, final thoughts, your message, and also how they could contact you if they want to reach out sa organizations ninyo or meron silang personal questions.
All right. I'm extremely excited. I shared the excitement with George, no? Very excited last time. I'm extremely excited because for the last 2 years, si Quadchain hasn't been doing that much, and this is it. So hopefully we translate it into something that's going to affect uh, the people or address the advocacies that the community is espousing. Yun lang, I'm very excited and I'm looking forward to the next steps.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Bimbo. And just to add on that, a Quadchain Solution Foundation is a 501c3 foundation based in Chicago, and every donations are tax deductible. So if you want to donate sa projects sa Quadchain, that would really help a lot of people, scholarship for the Filipino people. Through Quadchain Solutions, going to G1Tech, we could help several Filipinos to be marketable globally. Floor to you, Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you very much Vince and Bimbo, no. So again, thank you very much dun sa Quadchain Solutions Foundation of which we had a small memorandum of agreement 4 days ago, last Tuesday, August 16th. Of course, the intention is really to fund scholars. Ano ba yung popondohan for those na scholarship? We're looking at funding the first year ng mga ng bata, no? Whoever who applied for this that is ano naman underprivileged but qualified, okay, for to major in this degrees. Meron po tayong popondahan na $100 per month. Yung first year lang niya. Okay? Imagine that's only first year, 1,200. Kasi sa second years, self-sustaining na yung bata. No? So, kung marami tayong mai-donate through Quadchain, mas marami tayong batang matutulungan sa Pilipinas po. Yun po yung intention ng MOA between G1Tech and Quadchain Solutions. Hindi ko lang po na-mention, I'll just show this. I'll just show the company that possibly our students would work. These are some of the companies lang. About 2,000 plus enterprises. Okay? Okay. Yeah. That's
Ang
about it,
kagandahan,
Bernie.
yeah, ang kagandahan, Lawrence, ready na yung graduates para
Yeah.
after they finish their course, they already
Yeah.
have ready job. Handa
Ito,
nang
ito,
tumanggap sa kanila.
ito yung
So
mga
Bernie,
jobs
go.
for digital business and software engineering. Just to show.
Right.
So,
Bernie,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Bernie.
uh, first of all, I'd like to thank Quadchain for this particular opportunity. And todo ko na no, yung kakatukin po natin yung puso ng mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon dyan. Kasi po, at nagtatagalog ako para lalong maintindihan ng mga kapwa nating Pilipino, tumutulong din po tayo doon sa tinatawag na sandiwaan. Ito po ay mga Filipino families na tinutulungan natin na sa Smoky Mountain na para matulungan po yung mga bata na kailangan makapag-aral. So, lumalapit po kami sa inyo at naniniwala po ako kasi biblical po maraming yung 5,000 na miracles, 4 na tinapay o 2 tapos pinamigay ni Jesus Christ, dumami at bumalik pa mas marami. Di po ba? Meron pa mga baskets. No? So, I firmly believe na if we do this, we'll be able to help a lot of Filipinos, uplift their lives and the families. And we can, instead of exporting domestic helpers, we will now be exporting digital workers. Magandang gabi po. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Bernie. Maraming salamat sa inyo, Bimbo, Lawrence, for being here. And I guess this would really help a lot of Filipino people. And sa lahat ng mga nanonood, if you do have any questions, again, don't forget just to make a comment then and we will try to answer it. Kahit na late na comment, we, as much as possible, we will try to address it. Tsaka nilagay ko naman ang website ng G1Tech and website ng Quadchain Solutions. And at the same time, I hope it would be okay for you, Bernie, Lawrence, and Bimbo, that I'll add your LinkedIn account sa description box so that if they would try to reach out and send a message to you, that they would be able to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Again, mga pita, hosted by Doc Vince. Stay safe. Be safe. God bless you all. And ito yung kape ko, kape barako. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Maraming salamat.
Vince.
Thank you po. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning there.
Diyan muna kayo ha. Mag-usap tayo after this.
Okay.
Okay.